Who's good, potato? Spin the leak here, and it's time for a movie review. And this one actually takes me back to my childhood. And it's gonna be Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I was really excited when I heard that this movie was coming out. Didn't want to see it in theaters. I wanted to wait until I had a DVD. I wanted to enjoy it in the comfort of my room with the lights off. And then I saw the PG-13 rating. My thought was, okay, Mr. Del Toro, why the fuck are you pandering to a younger demographic? But it makes sense. It does make sense. This movie should be focused on a younger demographic, and the older demographic that would have some connection to this film and the book franchise itself would still watch it regardless. My worry with it having the PG-13 rating is that some of the imagery depicted in the stories and some of the themes may not be accepted, but no, they kept it pretty fucking close. I love the inclusion of the stories that they actually put into the film, especially my favorite, which was The Big Toe. The Big Toe, I think, was the first scary story I was read out of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And I think that was by my mother in a Fred Meyer, and like right after that, I begged her to buy me the book. I don't know if I'm remembering that correctly. I know they, had just added a book section, and I saw it, and I was curious about it. But no, even into adulthood, I have a copy of at least the third one on me, and they include a few stories in this movie from this one too. Let's actually talk about the plot. It's like 3 in the morning, so I'm gonna be stumbling over my words. Haven't had coffee in a bit. Really haven't drank much today, barely ate anything, so yeah, I'm a little bit of a mess. Basically, the main character Stella and her ragtag band of misfits explore a haunted house on Halloween, finding a hidden chamber where Sarah was kept, the original author within the confines of the movie of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. And after leaving with the book, the stories start writing themselves and people start going missing and dying. Yeah, PG-13 rating. But no, the movie is filled with very spooky ass imagery. A lot of stories are kept close. Like you see a kid sucking on the toe of a dead body. You see someone morph into a fucking scarecrow. It's pretty fucking twisted. Like let me pull up one of the ones that was actually in the movie. It was one. It was this. Oh yeah, and they also had the red spot. That was a fun one. Fucking nightmares if you're an arachnophobe. No, let's just go ahead and this bitch is in a movie. Look just fucking like her. Love it. I always love the worlds that he paints, and this movie was in the right hands all along. I was worried about the rating, I was worried about the concept, and I was wondering how they were going to pull it off. I didn't expect them to do a very linear story and incorporate all the elements that they did. What I thought it was going to be is just another one of those movies where they segment up multiple stories happening over the course of a single night, but instead, they use the stories to fuel a plot. They centered it around a book, and they included most of the stuff that you would find in a Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark book. The different genres of the story, even the music that they include, but they didn't include one thing that I feel is key to a Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark book. And that is the comic ones. I understand you may feel that it doesn't fit within the confines of this movie. It was actually a pretty dark experience. But honestly, the way they ended it, I feel like they could have just slipped a little something in there. It's nice to wrap it up at the end with a more light-hearted scary story. Just, for the fun of it. It turns something from comical to cute, especially with everything they've been through and the way that they wrap things up. My biggest fear was whenever, movies pander to younger audiences, there's usually going to be a bullshit scene. Yeah, they had a bullshit scene. But it also fit with the plot, so I couldn't be too mad about it. In order to actually go more into depth in like the joke portion of it, I'm gonna have to say that for the spoilers, but my official rating is without a doubt 4 potatoes. I mean, I'm very biased. I was iffy about the rating. I was iffy about the way they were gonna pull it off. But it was thoroughly entertaining. It tugged at my heartstrings at a few points, and it brought me back to my childhood. That's a big thing. It's not going to get the 5 potatoes, but it is definitely walking around with the 4. It's strutting its stuff. It's got a big ass necklace of French fries, whatever the fuck it wants to do. If you don't want to stick around for the spoilers, now's your time to leave. If you do, wait for the fuckers to leave. So we'll go ahead and give them fucking 3 and 2 and 1. Alright, so the way that the movie actually wraps up, I'm just going to jump straight to the ending. Because all the stuff in between, it's just fun to experience. If you've read the books, you know how some of the stories are going to play out. They actually mixed and matched a couple of the stories. So it may be a familiar story with different elements, but they kept it as close as possible. But the bullshit scene I was talking about is Stella actually ended up visiting Sarah in her own scary story domain, and was able to basically talk through the entire final battle to go ahead and put the spirit at rest. She gained ownership of the book that would write the scary stories itself. And since it was no longer fueled by rage, that means that she would have control over what the stories created. So, a more lighthearted, scary story, like, for example, yeah, that's a scary story. Like that would be really cute to see at the end because it was a story about a ghost that would appear multiple nights, just staring at them, and whenever it got close, it would just make fun of someone. I mean, that would be like a fun little thing to throw in, a little childish prank from a ghost. Big fucking whoop. It'd be a nice way to tie things up, especially after some of the shocking imagery. But nah, it was a fun one. I love it dearly. I'm probably gonna rewatch it, and I need to find the other 2 books while I'm at it. Uh, that's pretty much all I have to say for this. I tried to keep it as close to the point as possible, mostly focus on the elements of the movie that really stuck out to me. Have you seen it? What were your thoughts on it? Post in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Keep on keeping on. I'm going the fuck to sleep.